Hello everyone, my name is Mandilynn. I am the author of the young adult novel Essence and historical fantasy novel I Am Mercy, and today we are going to be doing the first of many virtual readings. So in honor of National Novel Writing Month, I will be starting to begin the virtual reading of Essence. Essence is my first novel. It's a young adult fantasy. I'm just going to read you guys the synopsis from the back of the book real quick. Emma's parents think she's dead. It started with a shift in atmosphere. The forest greeted Emma with startling force. At first she couldn't move her limbs, and then her vision was rendered useless, paralyzed to the forces within the forest. The voices came in a dream at first, commanding her against her will deeper into the forest. After months of fighting for control, it took only one moment to lose her human life forever. Now she is nothing more than an essence, watching as her life unfolds without her. Life is not something to tamper with. Alright, so I'm just going to jump right into the book. And today I will be reading from the preface of Essence. The first thing that the new mother notices about her baby is its silence. She knows something isn't right. It all happened fast, too fast. Unlike the shows she's been watching on TV, the doctors in this hospital don't hand her the child. They speak in quick, quiet words. Remove the umbilical cord from the neck. It's too tight. Cut it. Cole, the mother asks, pulling her husband to her. Her sight shifts to her child, but he only gives her a quiet glance before he looks to their child. Honey, is she all right? The father nods his head, but she can't tell. He's just trying to keep her calm. The silence in the room is frightening. Newborns are supposed to scream out to the world to announce their birth. The umbilical cord is cut away from the baby's neck. The mother still can't see her child. She leans forward to meet her daughter's eyes. The small infant's skin is blue. The thin skin around her neck is discolored from the cord's tight grip. Not a sound escapes from the tiny mouth. For a flash of a nightmare, the mother believes her child is dead, a stillborn, but then the baby moves. Her hands and feet feel around her, looking for something. Her mouth is open, seeking air, but nothing comes of the action. Cole, the mother cries, seeing her daughter fighting for life. Her baby, her perfect little baby, was being strangled by the umbilical cord. It's been removed, but why can't she breathe? Shh, it's going to be all right, Jess. He hates himself for saying the words he doesn't believe. How long has it been? Seconds? Minutes? How long can the infant go without air? In the mother's mind, the only thing she can picture is her tiny baby girl, cold and bloody, unable to breathe. This isn't how the infant should be greeted into the world. It's supposed to be glorious, a mother that neither the mother nor father would ever forget. The only thing certain is that it's a moment they won't forget, but they aren't sure if they want to remember if their daughter doesn't make it. Can she breathe? Jess asked, gripping her husband's hand harsher than necessary. At the end of the bed, the doctors and nurses mumble among themselves. In their sterile suits, they look like aliens, working on the newborn so she can breathe. The parents can only watch as they wonder what is wrong with their child. Cole, Jess' voice turns into a cry. She wants to ask the doctors what is wrong, but she fears if she breaks their concentration, her baby girl won't make it. After 9 long months of trying to keep this baby, the thought of never being able to hold her breaks Jess. Cole looks over to the baby for a moment and spies an instrument that looks like a turkey baster but much smaller. He doesn't know what it's called, but he knows its use. One of the nurses takes it and uses it to clear the infant's throat. They're working on it, he says. Jess's eyes are frantic, and she can see and feel her fear. Ever so slowly, the room grows louder as orders are repeated and a nurse is dismissed to grab something. Doctor, a nurse says, once she has arrived with a plastic bin that has a soft warm blanket on the top, curled around the edges. Without a word, the doctor scoops up the baby and places her into the transport incubator in one quick, fluid motion. The nurses rush to another table and clean the baby. Mr. and Mrs. Barton, the parents' heads turn away from their baby and to the doctor who speaks to them. Your daughter was born with the umbilical cord wrapped tightly around her neck. Although we weren't able to simply slip it off, we were able to cut it off to give her the air supply needed. Even after this was done, she still couldn't breathe, and we think she may have transient tachypnea. What is that? Cole asks. Jess is quiet in her tears as the doctor speaks to them. It means she has fluid in her lungs. Recovery usually comes within the first 12 to 24 hours, but it can last up to 72 hours. There are a few methods of treatment, but we have to determine how much oxygen she has in her blood. Is she going to be all right? Cole asks. We can't be sure. She's being admitted to the neonatal intensive care unit. It's so bright. Even with her eyes closed, the light shines through her thin eyelids. But it's cold, nothing like the warm enclosed space she's always been. It was weird being there one moment and then not the next. It was like she was being forced out, no longer wanted. She wanted to fight it for some reason, to keep the warm comfort she's always known, but she couldn't. Out here it's cold. At first she only noticed it in her head, and then the strangest thing happened. Something touched her, and it was also warm, alive, and gentle. It coaxed her out of her home. Something went wrong, though. When her body enters this new world, she wants to scream. Every fiber in her body tells her so. Fear envelops her. What is this place? She wants to go back, but warm fingers keep poking at her and moving her limbs. Scream. It isn't safe. They'll take you home if you scream. But no, she can't. That's when the panic came. She kicks and squirms, but no sound comes from her. Her arms contact something around her neck. It's a piece of her. She remembers it from home. It isn't supposed to be there. The warm fingers, the things that took her from home, keep fussing with it. It's slippery like the rest of her body, but it hurts. It pushes in around her neck. The warm piece of her is taking over her being. Something is missing from this new world she entered. She doesn't know what it is, but she needs it. Lightheaded, her thoughts begin to fade. It's scary, but a breathtaking peace comes over her body at the same time. A bright light comes, but it's not like the one when she left her home. She can't look away from the light. It brings numbness and takes away the pain in her neck, so she follows it. The slippery thing that was once around her neck is gone now, but it's not because of the light. The poking warm fingers had removed it. She grows agitated as the hands touch and move her, disturbing her peace. The light fades the slight split, and so does the numbing, calming sensation. She's being wiped down with something soft. She feels so free with nothing around her neck, but her breathing is fast and rapid. That's it. That was what was missing from this world. She needs to breathe, but something is still wrong. Inside, she feels her heart work overtime to survive. In and out, in and out. It feels off and wrong, like something is blocking her from doing whatever task it is her heart needs so badly. In the amount of time she's left without air, she can feel something leaving her. The light never disappears all the way, but it doesn't provide its peace. It stays, looking over her. She's torn into no longer one entity. Part of her leaves to follow the light. She knows this shouldn't happen and fights to stay as one being. She imagines her fingers reaching out, grasping the part of her soul as it floats away to the light. But whether she wills it or not, it goes. She's tempted to follow it. The light radiates in front of her and begs her to follow. She's drawn to her soul that's left her. The decision is made and she lets go of this foreign world. She misses the warm, closed-in home she had once known. The fingers pull her away and leave her where things hurt. She can't breathe. Her heart is always at a fast and labored pace. She again reaches out to her soul, leaving this body that grows colder as the seconds pass. A loud noise is heard around her, a thump of blood passing through her body. As she fades away, its rhythm slows. Thump, thump, thump. It's so close. The light grows brighter, inviting her. Peace increases around her, and she dreams she can fly. She can do it right now. Wings spread out from her back, taking her to the other half of her soul that has already left. Thump. The last heartbeat is loud, shaking her from where she flies in the sky. Please stay with me, a voice cries. It's so familiar. It calls her home. She turns, but darkness surrounds her. All at once the light disappears, and with it, her wings. She doesn't fall, but glides safely to the ground as she is brought back to the world. Unknowingly, she has made her decision. By turning to the voice, she has let go of the light. Thump, thump. She panics. Her heartbeat grows to a steady pace, and she can breathe again. Her lungs fill with sweet oxygen, and she exhales. But she knows something isn't right. The light is gone, but it took part of her with it. She will never be able to grasp the other part of her soul before the light disappeared. A piece of her is gone forever. The NICU is a familiar place to most, but to some parents it has become a secondary home. They go in and out every day to visit their child who hangs on only by a simple thread. This is why any visitors have to be as sterile as possible before they can step through the doors. For Cole, this is only his first time visiting, but he hopes not to make a habit of it. The nurse leads him to a room. Inside are monitors and tubes, and most of all, a large incubator that holds a baby girl. A document is attached to the side, and it reads Amelia Clarice Barton, with all her information and charts on it. Inside, the baby breathes fast, staggered breath. Her body has a blue tint to it, but she's alive. Cole stares down at his daughter, completely amazed by her small size. Her lids are closed, but on the paper with her name, it says she has blue eyes. Viewing the IV that is attached to her foot, feeding her oxygen through a vein. Not yet. She isn't stable enough, but when she is, you can. You should be able to take her home. You should be able to take her home shortly after that, the nurse tells him. He frowns, but is thankful for the periodic beeping that comes from the machine as it announces her heartbeat. Jess and Cole take Amelia home a week after her delivery. Her vital signs are normal and the fluids are cleared from her lungs. No permanent damage seems to have been done in the amount of time she was deprived of oxygen after birth. Jess cradles her in a snug, warm blanket just as the nurse taught her. It's supposed to resemble the feeling of being in the womb and bring comfort to the newborn. It helps, yet Amelia still cries at times. Cole and Jess thank God for that little scream, though, because it means she's alive. So that's the preface of Essence. Hopefully you guys all tune in next week for chapter 1 of Essence, where we really delve into the story. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and let me know in the comments down below what you think so far, and I really hope you like it. Thank you for watching.